Ladies and gentlemen, K-Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up 0.9% there on the S&P. Nasdaq did better, 1.5%, along with the semiconductor. It looks like these guys kind of led the way. The big brothers here, Nasdaq and the semiconductor. However, we got the energy completely outperforming today with a 3.4%. Dow up a little bit along with the Russell 2000. Transport was a leader yesterday, but it looks like transport is the laggard today with the negative print there. Banks up 1%, biotech 1, same with the healthcare. Home builders did pretty well with today, 2%. Utilities down though, 1% negative. Weakest link today. Retail up almost 2, along with the emerging market there. Bitcoin up, gold, silver, miners. These guys are up today with the pretty handsome gains there. Dollar down, oil up, treasury bond up, VIX is down about 5%. Let's look at S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday. And it looks like we kind of slightly gapped down right here. So you can see that in the first hour price section right here, right? So obviously that's the first hour red candle. Market is pretty much being aware. Remember we talked about this level right here, that midterm moving average. And keep in mind, we also talked about on the last night's update that there was a gap that wasn't fully filled. It was kind of a double resistance in that vicinity. We got the midterm and the gap area. 90% or so of that down gap was filled right away with that last hour candle. We talked about how that's positive for the market. There's a lot of momentum that was built. What the bulls needed to do is finish the job here by filling this down gap completely. So that first hour was kind of that jittery action. What's going to happen? So you can see being aware of this level 466. First hour we came down with the red candle, but look at the second hour right here, the thrust. And that was a crucial for the day. This is what I talked about. First 2 hours, bullish upturn, holding about 466. It's going to set the tone for the day. And with that, we reclaimed the midterm moving average. The down gap, that wasn't fully filled. Well, obviously that's fully filled. And then with that, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour, sixth hour, it looks like bears are covering in panic. I can already see that a lot of people, when we saw that gap down right here, these are short-term, micro-term traders, probably getting stopped out on their longs. Maybe the shorts are getting excited, maybe adding on to their shorts. And then when the second hour happened, and then pretty much throughout the entire day, they're forced to cover, and that's probably reason why. And then maybe buyers are jumping back in or something like that. But pretty bright, green day. It wasn't always, it was kind of like it started slow. I think like 0.5, 0.4% gain, and then like steadily kind of went. I'm gonna keep in mind that that's how buyers like to make a move, right? Lethargic start, and then inch by inch. Likes to march higher. Obviously, bears, they're very dramatic, emotional. They come down fast. But then, it could be very, very volatile. You know what I'm saying? When the bears come down, and that's how it's going to impute fear. Anyway, so let's kind of zoom out here and figure out the overall structure here so you can see it is not a coincidence. It is not a mistake. It is not a random occurrence that when this thing closed the day, it closed the day just underneath my short-term moving average. Think about it yesterday. This is where it closed yesterday. It decided it was going to close just beneath my midterm moving average. And then it's going to close just beneath my short-term moving average. The market is basically letting you guess what's going to happen next day. But as you watch these videos, you're going to be fully aware of the overall, the structure of this market and the likely scenario. And so you can see where I write on here. So we just kind of I kind of did that overview analysis of the midterms. I won't get too detailed with that. You can go check out yesterday's video. But what I do want to talk about is how did this market react to that short-term moving average? So kind of going back to three scenarios here, like December right here, bulls decided it was just going to jump gap above it. The reason being is that because buyers, every time we hit that short-term moving average, things got really difficult. Life was hard here in early December, late November. So when we kind of hit that short-term moving average in early December, what is that, like 7th or so, 5th or something like that, early December, decided, you know what, I'm done with dealing with this resistance. I'm going to just gap it over, right? So that's what happened. It's not quite, I mean, obviously we could see a gap up, right? If the market is here, right, and market decided it's going to do a gap up, that's a possibility. What about here in like a mid to late December? Well, we kind of get to that level right here, that short-term moving average, and the market just kind of acted like there's nothing there. We just kind of like kept going higher. So here today, how is this going to market react? Is this going to be scenario 1 here? Or scenario 2 here? Or is it going to be neither? Because the market always like to for the majority, and and market is, I always like to say, market is insidiously clever. It always like to do something that most people did not anticipate it to happen, right? And so what's gonna happen tomorrow is gonna be very, very interesting. Though I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a gapping up or something like that. But should there be any kind of shenanigan? 467 right here is a level that's going to be micro term pivot, could act as support, right? You can see the support, resistance, could be a new support there. And if the market decides it's going to be a little bit more shenanigan or something like that, then it's going to continue lower. My short-term or mid-term moving average currently residing at 466. So 467.80, 460. And then we have to defend this level right here if you want this momentum that has been built last couple of days to continue. And keep in mind, though, we did see that follow through today. So we have 2 days of momentum here. So we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers overall. And currently just kind of dealing with that short-term moving average as resistance. And we're trying to figure out how this market is going to deal with it. And it will be important how this market behaves in the first 2 hours tomorrow morning. Obviously, I'm going to tweet things out. Let's check out the roster and see what we can extract, if we can extract any more information. So you can see we're basically dealing with similar outcome or similar scenario here. You can see that oscillator has been tamed by this resistance level quite some time. And then finally, market breaks out. That's here, and that's here. So that's here, that's here. So you can see it last month or so price action, we're seeing these fluctuations, right? But market is moving in a similar sentiment, right? We come down, go back up, come down, go back up, come down. It looks like we're on the way up. So let's also do this quick, backtrack here. So you can see from here on this breakout, we gapped up. And then we move sideways and a little bit of shenanigan before coming right back down. On this breakout, this thing kept going higher for like days and weeks. And then, it obviously kind of moved sideways here. But, obviously at the time, what happened was there was a resistance we talked about. So what the buyers need to do, get above the short-term moving average. And ultimately speaking, buyers need to get above that, right? Let me kind of let me kind of extend this. So what buyers need to do ultimately need to get above it, use it as a kind of a pivot support, and then make a move. Until that happens, we don't know how long we might be tamed underneath that and continuously volatile. And that's not a bad thing. If you look at things in the long term, it could be a consolidation move for the month or so. In the midterm of things before this market get into the next leg higher. I'll come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Good luck trading tomorrow.